background noise. But if you have any questions or you would like to comment anything, please use the chat, and we're coming back to all the questions that we're receiving, especially for the speakers during our interactive discussion round after the presentations. Then just a first head up, please check out our website if you are not familiar with it yet, because you can find all the information about the Forging project and our activities there, and of course on the LinkedIn page that we're having as well. So now I would like to give you a short introduction on the agenda. We will first have a quick framework setting just to show you a little bit where we stand, why we're talking about this topic in forging. And then we're moving to the presentations from our expert speakers. I'm very happy to have today several experts from different European countries. We have Nazli Timur, who is founder and CEO of Xenovision. We have Emanuela Dodeva from the Republic of North Macedonia, who is founder and CEO of Detectra. And we also have Samuel Bori with us, who is the founder of Darrell from France. And then after these presentations, we will have the moderated discussion round, where we're going to answer any questions you might have to the speakers or any comments you would like to make. And also we have some additional questions to the speakers. And at the end, we'll have a short wrap up and also remind you what is coming up in forging, so you can continue to be involved and be informed about the different activities. Now, very shortly about forging. Why do we offer this webinar? What is forging? So forging is actually a European project running over 3 years, which is funded by the European Commission with the aim to set up a collaborative approach all across Europe to build a sustainable multi-sector and multi-stakeholder firm. So bringing together experts from different backgrounds, from different sectors, from different thematics, to ensure that we're having an uptake of emerging technologies, and that we have this uptake in a human-centric way, which is respecting also the boundaries of our planet, our environment, and which is maximizing the benefits for all parts of society. And speaking about the emerging technologies, we are looking into 6 technology frameworks, which you can see here on the slide. They are the human-centric solutions and human-machine interaction. And we have the bio-inspired technologies and smart materials. We are working on real-time based digital twins and simulation, on cyber-safe data transmission, storage, and analysis technologies, artificial intelligence, as we're doing today, and technologies for energy efficiency and trustworthy autonomy. So this project is implemented through 6 expert partners, which you can see here the logos of. And we're now in the second half of the project. We're advancing quite well on this involvement of different stakeholders from different sectors, from different backgrounds. Next slide, please. And I wanted to show you what's the pathway that we're offering in forging. So this is just a figure that you can find on the website. And when you go on the website, on the front page, you will find it. You can click on the different aspects, and you will get a lot of information about what's behind it. So just very briefly, we're setting up a forum. So the forum is a community of experts from different backgrounds, from different countries, and bringing technology experts together with applicants, so those who are using the technology, but also people from academia, from industry, from any kind of organization that is in the innovation pathway in between, but also anyone who is from an outsider position, let's say, such as the civil society in general, because we really want also to be sure that everything we're discussing and we're co-developing is useful for society. Then we have here the aspect towards Industry 5.0, which is a concept from the European Commission, but it's very strongly also taken up in a lot of different countries in the EU and outside the EU probably as well, where we try to develop an additional aspect in comparison to Industry 4.0, where we add the human factor into this Industry 4.0 development. Then we have the aspect of co-creation. Co-creation for us is the core of our project activity, because we really think that all the different stakeholders, all the different experts do have different expertise and knowledge to bring to the table, and that it's only together through the different views, through the different expertise, that we can create the future in terms of a responsible development of technology. And then last but not least, we have an aspect about EU leadership in responsible technologies, because we think that EU has a real role to play here in comparison to a lot of other countries or regions in the world. We do have a lot of innovation all across the countries and all around the world, but we think in EU we really need to emphasize this responsible development and the application in a responsible way in our development and in the solutions that are on the market. All this information that you can see here is integrated, the methodologies and the content and the results that we're creating into what we call our toolbox and playbook. And this is also available on the website. So when you go through this scheme, you can find information there, and it's open source. So it's up to you to use it in any kind that you think is relevant for you. Next slide, please. So now, just a few words about our approach. I already started quickly. We are trying to support the uptake of emerging technologies in academia and industry, really making sure that we're connecting these two worlds, which do not always speak to each other, but which are very important, especially in these emerging new technologies. We are looking into 6 technology pathways, and I shortly introduced the different technologies at the very beginning. And aim to transfer ideas and help industry navigate through the issues related in the deployment of use cases, so the concrete application of technology pathways. And then, as I said, we try to emphasize really this value-sensitive innovation journey for European innovation, to make sure that innovation is not just innovation, it's not just new, but it is really adding value in terms of taking into account the human in the development and in also the aspects that could impact humans when we speak about the technology development and deployment, and respecting the environment in development and in the use of the technologies and their applications. Next slide, please. Now, just finally, how can you get involved? So it's not only today in this webinar, it's really going far beyond this. And you can see that here we have a couple of pictures from our activities with the forum members. So please, we have this forum, so the stakeholders community, where we invite anyone from very different backgrounds, academia, industry, policymakers, the broader society, anyone who might be interested, who would like to co-develop together to become part of the forum. So you can do that by scanning the QR code, which is on the slide. And we're also going to make available all the slides, of course, so you can have it afterwards. Maybe we can also put in the chat quickly the link to the forum, so you can also see that in the chat. Please feel free to join us, because we really would like to give the floor to all different expertise and knowledge that we can gather from different European countries as well. Then what do? We do a lot of co-creation workshops. We have been implementing many already. You can see also a lot of information about that on our website and the social media. And you can see here on the pictures how it works. It's really co-creative. It's really interactive. It's not a conference mode. It's a group work where we create together with academia and industry practitioners different steps, of course, in the responsible development of enabling technologies. And then we're having webinars. This is the very first one on AI, but we're going to have one on each of the technology frameworks that we're looking at. The next one is coming up in December, which will be about cybersecurity, and then the others are following. So here again, we try to really give the floor and shed light on European startups and companies which have used the emerging technologies in their development, and we give them the floor so they can also share good practices on responsible approaches in their work. Now, again, learn more about everything by checking out the pathway, the small figure that I showed you, which you can find on the website. Next slide, please. Okay, so we're finished with the introductory notes. If you have any questions, please put them in the chat, and we're going to answer them, of course, also in the interactive discussion round. But I would like now really to give the floor to our expert speakers from the companies. starting with Nazli Timur. And whilst Nazli is setting up her slides, just very quickly some words about her. Very glad to have you, Nazli. Nazli is a founder and CEO at Xenovision. And the company has started in Turkey and has been officially operating in Canada for 5 years, and now with the headquarters in Singapore, Qatar, and will soon also be in Finland. So it's already quite globally established. Xenovision works on AI applications in the field of security, and more specifically, Xenovision offers solutions for real-time incident detection and recognition. And it leverages AI-powered video analytics using abnormal behavior recognition and other AI technology applications to automatically identify critical events and threats in real time. This means that the product can really prevent life-threatening safety risks, and it's a very interesting application. Nazli will certainly tell us more about it, so we will get the details from her. Just quickly, Nazli studied at Trakya University, University of Milan, and University of Nice Sophia Antipolis in France. And she's solo technical female full-time founder in the deep tech field for 5 years already. Nazli, very glad to have you with us. Please set up your slides and the floor is yours.
Sure. Hello, everybody. Are you able to hear me well?
Very well, yeah. Thank you.
Wonderful. So thank you for having me, first of all. It's very exciting to be in such a knowledgeable people. So to start with, I'm the founder and CEO of Xenovision. Xenovision has a 5 years old age, and we started to be able to make every corner of the city safe. I'm going to tell the story actually, but I would like to highlight that we are very focused on the most scalable functionality of AI in terms of detecting the most critical incidents. So it's kind of meant for governments and large B2Bs. And we have an HQ in Canada, and we are already based in Singapore, Turkey, Finland, and Qatar. The reason to be scaled in this many location, because it's a public safety solution. We have to be able to, even though we have a very scalable solution, we have to be able to localize its impact and its regulatory compliance and so on. So we have a strategy of decentralized growth in which we set up in one country in every continent and scale solution from there. And the problem we are focused is every large city is equipped with high number of CCTV cameras, and these cameras are used to help to the investigation. Why? Because there may be some criminals who hurt people, then it could the police need to isolate them from the public to prevent their, future damage to the public. So this is it has been used for the investigation purposes, but unfortunately, because the growing population, growing conflict in the globe, and so on, utilizing a lot of camera is not helpful, because they are unable to answer what is happening now in any corner of the city. They are a person needs to really manually track them. So what we try to do with our solution, or we already did actually, we made use AI in a way that every corner of the city, if there is a CCTV camera, only for the critical incidents like stabbing, shooting, maybe some kind of terror risk, or some robbery, some very critical crime, we utilize AI to be able to detect it online, so that everybody is going to feel safer. Either they walk in the street alone, or they are in a very large crowd, and so on. And our proposal for the governments, especially reducing crime faster, because the municipalities and so on, there are elections, and they have limited time to provide the safety or improve the life of the society. So the AI, when AI is there, it's with our plug play solution, it's even faster to improve the security, because it's very plug play and everything is real time, and it gives an upper hand to the people who protect the society actually. how it looks, it's like that. Let's say you have 100,000 camera in a city. Our solution detect every single happening, every single like criminal happening in any camera, and just prioritize. So by walking in the street, you feel someone follows you, you press a button, you can activate the surrounding cameras. Our AI detects what is happening and it prioritizes. All means is for just reacting early, letting the police or like security know on time so that like we can save some people. And also we, after the earthquake in Turkey, like one night there was like 50,000 people were under the rubble. So people died because the emergency response was not on time. So that's why we added another feature to our solution, in which again, by pressing a button, you will be marked with all necessary and up-to-date data in the emergency map that the frontliners like rescuers can just accommodate, like how many people are in need. It can be a flood, it can be a storm. This is also how to say valuable feature we added. Again, not for every time, but for the critical times like public safety or the disaster. I would like to tell my story. Like during my master in France, unfortunately, in this beautiful city, a terror attack happened. And that time I was working on Alzheimer detection from the cameras. And I just realized that like just by activating cameras and detecting parking violation of a truck next to a crowd, we could have prevented. And this incident was a huge, had a huge impact in me because yeah, because of the situation. And I decided that I have the capability and know-how to be able to utilize AI to make the city safer. Why AI is helpful? The reason AI is responsive, under a second of time, it can really give you the response. So this is a very strong feature. And for the data organization, it's the same. Like it optimizes the communication and it's very responsive. So if there is a critical incident that you need to really secure large places, it's really the most useful technology in my view. And I would like to tell a little bit about also our story. Like I would like to start because I want to highlight like a good intention for of any team, any engineer, any sales expert can lead to a pre-compliance. Like when we started, actually, we started by 2016 and 19. Actually, I officially launched with the National R&D Institution funding. I launched it in Turkey, actually, in I can call it in Best Technopark. And there was no AI Act, and AI was not even, how to say, popular that time. But because not by like starting with a prescription of the solution, we started with a motivation, and the motivation was to make the cities safer for the community. So this mission helped us to create, how to say, early compliance with the AI. I'm kind of very happy to say this. And throughout the time, we already had a lot of discussion with the potential customers, like some factories, elderly care centers, hospitals, like banks, again, municipalities, so many discussions. And we really it really helped us to understand how the solution can impact the society. Because as an engineer, when I started, I thought that, okay, I'm gonna make this software solution, it's gonna sell itself, and the society is going to embrace it. But then I realized that in every society, there is a existing behavior in which people react, respond, and it is associated to their existing safety behavior. So you cannot just put something, even it is the world's best solution, put it in the center of the city and okay, let people use. It's not like that. There needs to be a cultural adaptation, community acceptance. It really has to reduce the previously all the post risk that's going to come with the new behavior needs to be reduced beforehand. So like because this is an innovation, it took a little bit more time to, how to say, convince the potential customers. But it also gave us the opportunity to understand every segment of the community, how they are going to respond, how the solution can match with their needs, and so on. And so far, instead of going with the small B2B like elderly care centers, kindergartens, we wanted to go directly to the governments, because we see that they are well regulated, and when you work with the governments, the sales cycle is long, but along the way, you ensure that the impact to the society is like already very positive and risks are reduced. Yeah, like 3 years before, we were like in SDG 11, we were top 50 in Europe yeah, as an innovation for, to say, community and safety. And as I mentioned, this pre-compliance gave us a lot of confidence also, because like the major question when you innovate something for the society is it needs to be good for the society. With the good intention, you may end up with something bad, of course, but like along the way, because we are like keeping in contact with the government, large B2B, or any segment of the society, we are in a good track. And I would like to share one unique thing that I discovered on the way. So it's about impact measurement. Right now we have a confirmed pilot with the city of Edmonton in Canada on metro station safety. And during our discussion with the Edmonton Police Service, we realized that they have a very good initiative called like HELP. They try to know people who have vulnerabilities beforehand, and by supporting them, especially the youth, because the major number of homeless people in Canada are youth people, they try to, how to say, prevent any bad thing that's going to happen potentially to them. So they try to help them beforehand. So it's kind of a prevention. And our solution is all kind of prevention at the same time. Like what we try to do, we try to detect the crime, even anticipate certain symptoms that lead to the crime beforehand, so that we prevent it. But then we realize that the moment we prevent the crime for the police, then how they are going to tell the public that they are doing good, like, or how we can like we can showcase our impact, since we are removing it. Like you are like normally, let's say we cope with like 10 robberies and so on. Then I start to search for like what could be the best measurement strategy for us to let our customer to measure the impact by using our solution, because at the end we want to create a good impact for the society. But like how we can prove that it's a good impact, so this needs to be parameterized actually. Then I had a very good course in Coursera, a UK-based university, as I remember, and they created an impact measurement course, and it was so valuable because it also aligned with the all SDGs and so on. Then we really end-to-end parameterize the solution, in which by doing these detections on time, we can enable law enforcement to reduce this rate, reduce this time, improve this one, and so on. And this is going to lead this outcome and then this impact as a kind of KPI. So it was like a wow moment for me, because like I haven't really realized that just by introducing a software to the society and let's say preventing something, you also change the game, like how people get the promotion, how things are spoken, and so on. Yeah, and also there is a book called Art of the War. It's about preventing the illness before even it happens. So it also kind of helped me to really establish this one.
32
Yeah.
more minutes, please. Yeah.
Thank you so much. I'm almost done. Yeah, so like I would like to highlight EI, the valuable impact of the EI Act here. The best part, I have been working in Europe, in US, in Asia, in GCC, and so far. And if I have to highlight a good behavior of EU, this regulatory compliance, even though it looks like things are slowed down and so on, we faced one situation in a way in another continent, let me call it like that. So they questioned us like at a museum. They told us that if we allow you to access the footages, would it be a problem for the police? Because they didn't have this compliance regulation, privacy regulation, and so on. So they are like directly, how to say, related. They don't know what they have to do. But the good thing about AI Act and so on, once you regulate everything with the GDPR and so on, and show that you are compliant already, then you can freely introduce your solution to the stakeholders, and they can really adopt the solution without further hesitation. At the end, AI is a good innovation. It's a good enhancement in terms of optimizing a lot of like behavior, time, and so on. It's going to be in the industry, and the focusing on the best adoption is going to be a winner strategy. And in my view, EU is taking it seriously. That's why they try to standardize and regulate, and we will be kind of following every single, how to say, happening in terms of the regulations. So yeah, like we are Zina Vision, and we are building a safer society, safer future for the society by using AI as a muscle for helping people. And if you have any question, any interest, anything to discuss, we are open to speak. And I will be happy to answer all your questions during the Q&A session.
Thank you so much, Nasi. Very interesting applications that you have here. Thank you. And any question that the audience might have, please put in the chat, and we're coming back to it when we come to the discussion round. I'm now introducing our next expert speaker whilst we're setting up the slides, who's Emanuela Dodeva. Emanuela is the founder and CEO of Detectra, a promising startup from the Republic of North Macedonia, which is focused on transforming breast cancer care with artificial intelligence. Detectra is advancing how healthcare professionals approach breast cancer detection by developing AI-driven tools for real-time imaging analysis and prognostic modeling, and also breast density assessment. These innovations are designed to help detect cancer at its most treatable stages, and thus offering healthcare providers new ways to improve patient outcomes. And then also, in addition to her role at Detectra, Emanuela is the co-founder and is also leading the ESRA, which is a nonprofit organization devoted to advocating for patients and enhancing healthcare services. Her work at ESRA reflects her commitment to not only drive technological innovation, but also to build a more compassionate and accessible healthcare system. Very happy to have you with us, Emanuela, and the floor is yours.
Hello, everyone. Thank you, Eva. It is truly an honor to join this webinar and be part of such an important conversation about shaping a more responsible future with technology, especially in my field, in healthcare, where innovation can truly save lives. The next slide, please. So today I stand before you not only as a founder, but as someone who has been deeply shaped by personal loss. My journey into healthcare began not in a lab or in a corporate office, but beside the hospital beds. I lost my grandmother to cancer, and years later, I lost also my best friend, only at age 28. So these experiences did not just give me a purpose, they gave me a mission. And that mission began with the creation of ESRA, an organization committed to supporting patients, raising awareness, and advocating for systematic change. Next slide, please. The loss of my grandmother and my best friend to cancer wasn't just a personal tragedy, it was a call for action to me. I couldn't accept that so many lives were being lost because of the gaps in the healthcare, particularly in early detection and support. So this realization led me to establish ESRA, a non-profit organization with a clear mission to raise awareness about cancer prevention, support patients and their families, and advocate for accessible and high-quality cancer care. Through ESRA, we launched numerous initiatives that touch lives across North Macedonia. We organized educational events, and we operate an SOS hotline that provides psychological and social support to the patient and their loved ones. We provide free wigs, bras, prostheses, and comfort packages with care items to newly operated patients. One of our key accomplishments has been presenting patient voices to the decision makers at the annual session with the government and the Parliament of North Macedonia. But through our work, it became clear to me that advocacy, while critical, was only a part of the solution. There was also an urgent need for innovation that could empower radiologists, reduce diagnostic delays, and bring early detection within the reach of everyone. This understanding led the foundation of the Detectra. The next slide, please. AI could be the key to addressing these gaps and has the potential to see what human eye might miss, to enhance accuracy, and to make diagnostics faster and more accessible. The Detectra mission is simple, yet profound. The next slide, please. Yeah. To empower radiologists and healthcare providers with AI tools that make breast cancer detection faster, more accurate, and accessible. We are committed to reducing diagnostic delays, improving patient outcomes, and ensuring that early detection becomes the standard for everyone and everywhere. At Detectra, we envision a future where no woman is denied the chance of survival due to delayed and misdiagnosis. A future where early detection is not just a possibility, but a reality. By integrating our AI solutions into the existing healthcare workflows, we aim to give radiologists the support they need to make timely and precise diagnosis, reducing the burden of healthcare systems and saving lives. Next slide, please. So Detectra is more than a company for me. It's a commitment to patients, to families, and the healthcare professionals working tirelessly to improve the outcomes. We believe that combining patient advocacy from ESRA and the technology from Detectra, we can create a world where breast cancer is no longer a leading cause of death, but a condition detected early enough to be treated successfully. To fully understand the value of Detectra, it's essential to first examine the challenges we face in the breast cancer diagnostic today. And these challenges are not just technical, they are social, systematic, and deeply human. The first challenge we face is limited access to screening and late diagnostic. One of the most pressing issues is limited access to breast cancer screening, especially is in underserved or remote areas such as North Macedonia. And according to Globocan, breast cancer accounted for 2.3 million new cases globally in 2020. In Europe alone, we have over 500,000 new cases and more than 144K deaths. And to put this into perspective, I believe you all heard about 1 in 1 woman will be diagnosed with breast cancer during their lifetime. And while the risk of death is 1 in 71 in high-income countries, this rises significantly to 1 in 48 in low-income areas, such as our country. So the geographic and socioeconomic barriers often prevent women from getting regular mammograms, which are crucial for early detection. The result are that many cases are diagnosed in later stages when the treatment options are fewer, the outcomes are poorer, and the emotional and the financial cost are far greater for the families. In Macedonia, unfortunately, the breast cancer remains one of the leading causes of death among women. Each day, on average, one woman loses her life to this disease, and the mortality rates go higher and higher. Another critical issue is the difficulty of diagnosing breast cancer with patients with breast dense tissue. Dense tissue can obscure subtle signs of cancer, making it harder to detect abnormalities using traditional imaging techniques. And this means that some of the cancer may go undetected until they progress, which is reducing the chances of successful treatment. This is a problem not only for the patients, but also for the radiologists who often face significant pressure to identify such abnormalities. Also, radiologists, as a center of the breast cancer diagnostics, their workload is growing heavier every year. High case holds and long hours can lead to fatigue, which naturally increase the risk of errors. And also the subjective nature of imaging interpretation means that different radiologists may come to different conclusions when reviewing the same scans, potentially leading to inconsistent outcomes for the patients. And all of these challenges add up to a situation where breast cancer detection is not always as early, accessible, or accurate as it could be. There are barriers to hope, survival, and quality of life, and they're exactly the problems that Detectra was created to solve. Next slide, please. At the heart of Detectra is our deep learning technology, which catches patterns and anomalies often missed by traditional method. These advanced AI measures are more accurate to cancer detection, supporting radiologists in making informed decisions and improving patient outcomes. Detectra also can detect subtle patterns beyond human perception and dense assessment. So the sophisticated machine learning algorithms analyzes medical images to identify even the smallest signs of potential abnormalities. And this capability enables radiologists to detect early indication of breast cancer that might otherwise be missed, and facilitating timely intervention. Also, Detectra is enhancing diagnostic consistency and accuracy. This variability in radiologists that we talked about previously is addressed by standardizing results across the cases. Our AI is minimizing the interpretive discrepancies, providing more reliable diagnostic support. And this ensures that regardless of who conducts the analysis, the diagnostic quality remains consistently high, offering patients dependable assessments. Detectra also aims to increase efficiency and to reduce the workload. It's built to help the manage workload by automating routine image analysis. And this automation reduces diagnostic time and free up our radiologists to focus on more complex cases. The increase of efficiency means that more patients can be screened without compromising the quality, allowing the healthcare providers to optimize their resources effectively. Next slide, please. So our technology is, because it's very, how to say, fragile, so we want to protect our patient confidentiality, and all imaging data used by Detectra is fully de-identified. This means that personal identifiers are removed or anonymized. By complying with strict regulatory frameworks like GDPR and HIPAA, we ensure that patients' privacy is never compromised. So this de-identified data allow us to focus solely on the diagnostic task at hand while maintaining trust with the healthcare providers and patients. Behind our technology is enhancing image quality for AI analysis. So once the data is de-identified, it goes to pre-processing to improve the image clarity and to ensure consistency. And this involves several key steps like noise reduction, contrast enhancement, and segmentation. And also we use explainable AI techniques like GradCam, which visually highlights the parts of the image that contribute most to the model's decisions. And this feature provides clinicians with a clear visual guide, helping them understand the why behind each recommendation and making the AI available trustworthy tool in their diagnostic process. A primary goal at Detectra is making our technology as accessible and practical as possible. And this starts with seamless integration into PACS system that are already across hospital and clinics. And by embedding our AI directly with these existing workflows, radiologists can view and interact with AI-generated insights as soon as the images are uploaded to the PACS systems. Next slide, please.
Manuela, please, 2 more minutes. Thank
Yes,
you.
I'm finishing. Thank you. Next, I already talked about PACS. Thank you. So thank you all so much for taking the time to join me today and explore Detectra's vision and technology for advancing breast cancer detection. And I invite all of you here to join us in this mission, especially because everyone has a friend or a family member who might be a potential patient of breast cancer. And I believe that we all together can contribute to society where breast cancer is diagnosed in early stages and the mortality rates are down. Thank you so much.
Thank you very much, Emanuela. Health is obviously a very important application area of AI. So I'm very glad to have your presentation here. Thank you. I'm now giving the floor to Samuel. And whilst we're moving to those slides, very quickly an introduction. So Samuel Burri is the founder and CEO of Darryl. Yes, after having launched several tech startups for the B2B and the industry, recently launched Darryl, which is based in the southwest of France. Darryl uses AI to support SMEs in different industries as a reliable business assistant, especially for the development of targeted quotes. It specifically addresses craftsmen in their customer relations, and I'm sure Samuel will be able to tell us much more about it. The floor is yours, Samuel.
Hello, everybody. Thank you very much, and I'm very proud to be here because I'm just launching Darryl a few 2 months ago. So yes, I worked in my previous startup with industrial to put on the field and to digitalize maintenance in industry. So we reach a good result regarding this technology. And now with Darryl, we are focusing more on how to put the know-how of industrial players on the market. And the problem, I started to work with a manufacturer in acoustic solution. So acoustic solution in a room has to be very carefully studied. When you sell a solution in acoustics, you have to go on site to make measurements, measurements in terms of acoustic, in terms of dimension of the room, of materials. You have to come back to study and make a simulation of what is the reverberation time and other stuff to say you need to build to install I would say how many acoustic solution to meet the norm. So it's very hard to sell I would say some industrial products. So if we go to next slide, I'm launching Darryl. Darryl is I would say a business assistant that will take the know-how of industrial know-how. So for example, when you sell acoustic solution, you use the complex calculus to simulate the room acoustics. And thanks to Daryl will learn how to make technical diagnosis and instantly will calculate how many solutions you need on site. It applies to electricity, it applies to energy, it applies to everything. So you can build customized quotation in live. You can ensure complex customer requests when you have, for example, a call from customer saying, "Oh, I have a problem in terms of this kind of problem." Daryl will ensure the employee and the customer directly how to solve the problem. So we use LLM, open source, with natural language processing. So if you see the example on your right, Daryl is talking to the salesman and say, okay, the salesman want a quotation of acoustics in Tiergarten, gives us dimension, gives photos. Daryl will explore through the photos the customer environment. So seeing there are some materials, there are some furnitures, and he will compute the calculation based on the know-how of the industrial. And in this case, it calculates the reverberation time and calculates the solution. So 3 altus and 4 stratus. This is the solution, acoustic solution of one of my customers called HaCloud, and the price directly given on site. So imagine the salesman will not need to go back to his office, make the calculation. He can directly on site with the customer give the solution, the price, and in the future he will give a visualization of the solution, the cloud and the acoustic solution in the room. So thanks to Daryl, we compute all the calculations, technical calculations, the business quotation, and the customized solution in the customer situation. So it can synchronize as well with the prices on all the, I would say, the subcontractors condition and the stocks as well directly in live. So if you go to the other slide. So this is very exciting because AI can make custom-made quotation for SME. That's something that is very hard to get for SME. The CPQ and CRM solutions to obtain this kind of customization in software is very expensive. And thanks to Daryl for, I would say, a few €100 per month, SME industrial manufacturers can augment their salesmen, can augment their resellers. They put, I would say, all the know-how in the hand of the resellers, and it means that it's more efficient to sell, but you have new channels to sell your know-how and your products and services. So it's very exciting because it empowers the way you can sell industrial products. And it opens new channels because if you have your Daryl assistants, you can, in French, in Italian, you can go everywhere because you have just to fit with the local regulation expectations. But Daryl can speak in 50 languages. So it's very smart. So you can use it in sales, in pre-sales, in after sales, in customer services, and in technical support, because Daryl will learn, self-learn from the field and from the documentation of the industrial, how to install, how to repair, how to diagnose problem on site. If you go to the next slides. So starting back, myself, I've been working in as an engineer, but I would say a digital entrepreneur, and Now I would like to help SME to maximize the protection with AI, thanks to the new technology. So as you see, I do not use AI to automatize process, but we use AI to make, I would say, high level of skills to empower the sales, because I think that industrial has good knowledge, good know-how, but they don't have enough know-how in terms of selling the products. So I would like, through Daryl, help them to decouple the power with the values of respect, kindness, and excellence, because we take all the know-how of the industrial players, we put in an LLM platform that is protected and should be very kind, and lots of kindness regarding this this level of information we got in our platform, and excellence because it should be reliable. If you put AI in the hand of salesmen, this AI should be accurate, reliable, to provide the best solution with the best the good level of reliability in terms of information. So thank you. I think in the end I can go through the question that was asked through this meeting. Yes, how can we ensure that the solution is meeting the needs of society? We implement Daryl in each customer ecosystem by implementing step by step with lots of iterations, getting back lots of feedback from the employees, the employee and the customers. It's very important to get to make them engaging in this tool, and it's in fact what I see, because I work in the other part of digitalizing the field operations. Digitalizing the field operation in terms of maintenance is not so simple, because when you put smartphones and tablets in the hands of maintenance technician, it's a new tool they have to use, and sometimes it can save time. It saves time. It's additional work to do to help them to digitalize their work. With Daryl, it's the opposite. The Daryl is an assistant that saves time without adding additional tasks, because it can listen, it can take snapshots, it can take your text, your prompting, and it's very something that reduces the access to information without adding very high level of constraints. So the feedbacks are very interesting, and we see that that in fact the new generation are very that they are expecting this kind of tools when they go in industry. So they are reluctant to use whole tools, to use papers, and these new digital solutions are very a good way to attract and engage this new generation to work in industry. Just to answer the question to how we meet the needs of society, are very we have a behavior chart inside Daryl to be sure that we are constantly in terms of our values and the kindness. So if you go to the next slide. You know that if you take the example of video generation, in the previous time, how you can generate a video of your business, you should go to I would say an agency, take about 1 month, 2 months to shoot and to produce this video. With AI, you can generate it instantly in few hours. this kind of tools is the same tool that the same way you implement an application to sell. If you would like to develop a CPQ solution for your industry, you have to spend 30, 50K of project before having the solution in customized way for your business. So AI is very powerful to reduce this cost and make it accessible to SME and to boost their sales, because I think if you can boost the sale for SME, it can give lots of oxygen to develop, I would say, employment and develop the enterprise. Can go to the next slide. I'm throwing back to.
Just 2 more minutes, please. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. How are you taking out of the impact artificial intelligence solution can have on humans? I think you see every day a new solution in AI that can automatize tasks, so maybe can have a deep impact on employment. Our position in Darrell is not to replace human; it's to augment the human, to take the know-how and to replicate it through people who maybe do not have this know-how. So we are very, very focused to develop these tools, the expert assistants, to make it used by people who do not have the capability to get this expertise. So we augment them, and we augment the business of SME. So I think we are in a good strategic axis to develop industry in Europe. And in fact, using AI is a very good opportunity to develop new value, new channels, new countries for SMEs who do not have the capability in terms of human bandwidth to expand without lots of energy the business in other countries. Next slide, please. So yes, for sure, AI can have lots of impacts on the global environmental aspects. What is important is we do not focus our development regarding video generation or lots of data production. We give the right information at the right place to the right people. This is what is important. So very accurate, it's very important to focus on giving the less information, or the proper information. And we have a lot of consideration regarding eco-design of our software and the choice of our cloud infrastructure. It's very important. But we have to deal with human behavior, technology choices, and company competitiveness. So do we have to focus on only on environment, even if our SME can miss the competition? It's a trade-off. So we have to measure this trade-off at each stage of our development. And but what we do is actually we using Darrell, our customers can save papers, can save transplantation, can save errors in terms of procurement, because if you do not price and dimension the right solution for a client, and you deliver your solution and you have to keep it back with a two-way transportation, you don't save fuels. So we save fuel using Darrell because we have the right solution to deliver to our customer. Next slide. I think we're at the end. the framework. So you talked about the AI Act. For sure, it's a good thing. It's a good thing we should apply internationally. For sure. We have in Bordeaux, near Bordeaux, in the region of Nouvelle-Aquitaine, a policy regarding responsibility in digital. So it's a program called Neoterra, and we have an emerging cluster to shape ecosystems and framework regarding responsibility in digital to make it more responsible. So we are in this ecosystems because it's very important to shape innovation, to define the future and build the future with rules that are in line with environment and human, for sure. But what is important is to give transparency of what we do and what we deliver to our customers. We don't put directly in terms of decision making. We don't put it directly in front of critics processes. There is always a human who makes decisions, and at all stages. Next slide, yes. Yes, I'm been experiencing AI from 1 year, for 1 year, and what I've been learning is that there are lots of solutions generating poor value and consuming lots of energy, for sure. I think we have lots of AI solution who generates contents consuming lots of energy. There are too many experts trying to solve nothing, for sure. Lots of experts of prompting. We have now to focus on their solution who produces, I would say, optimization in process, but added value. And the strategy to adopt in companies is not so obvious because you see large companies cutting access to ChatGPT, for example, because they have fear that their information will go outside the companies and could be used for without limits. So what I suggest is that to establish in team, I would say, framework to test new processes, new ideas in small teams, to learn and generalize when there is an impact in their business. But I think the real added value is to reshape the business model of a company. So, for example, Daryl, what we see that sometimes small companies were still in a craft mad business model. They are now adopting a real industrial models, focusing on the manufacturing, on the tools to sell, and leaving the whole distribution to I would say resellers that can use Daryl or on AI to be expert of lots of industrial manufacturers. So I advise to use these tools as soon as possible and to generate a new business and a new position as a new business model. Thank you for your attention, and let's share your question now.
Thank you very much, Samuel. A very interesting perspective also on the application that you're offering here. Thanks a lot for that. I think we're now going to move to the interactive discussion round. So I'm inviting all the speakers to answer the questions. And of course, anyone from the audience is welcome to ask questions or to make comments. We will start with those which we have in the chat. And of course, we have also additional ones which we really would like to discuss with our experts. So I'm starting from the top. So starting with you, Nasli, the first question was for you. Just trying to move back in the chat. Yeah, so there's a question, how can we ensure that these types of solutions that you're offering do not backfire on the population? are that they are not taken over by totalitarian regimes that would use them to reduce freedom of the citizens?
Okay, thank you so much. This is actually a wonderful question, and I often get this question, and I'm prepared for the answer. And so, like, it's not just like prepared because I receive the question often, but also we try to ensure and talk more. So, like, I have three aspects to comment. So, first of all, let's go to the totalitarian regimes. Bad intention brings the ignorance. So in these totalitarian regimes, if we see the behavior of the management, every people are less valuable. So the solution we created is makes people more valuable because everybody have the right or like possibility to how to say reach the security, transparency, and so on. How we achieve this? Of course, with a very well studied set of features. In the solution, we don't have any manipulative features, any identification. It only detects critical threats that are posed to the public. So this is kind of very critical. A value offering that is going to make everything transparent and on time, accessible, and not manipulative is never actually part of an appetite of an totalitarian regime. And if we go to the other side, the most demanding customers that we have are the ones who try to prevent the risks, even they pose, even they become how to say real for the public. So this we when we have discussed with our customer, because we also want to create a good impact. We ask the intention of the customer, and it's very obvious that like the governments or like the authorities who want to change the things in the society in a good way are more preventive ones, and the solution is very well designed. Even the features are reviewed, like dashboards are specifically reviewed by like a privacy expert, like privacy lawyers, to be able to highlight that it doesn't pose any privacy risk for any individual. And this is not even asked by the AI Act or GDPR. This is something we, by discussing with certain privacy expert and community, we come up as a like counter measure that our customer wouldn't use the solution with another purpose than it is designed. So like we put the right features, we made it dynamical, automated, so that the customer doesn't really manipulate. And the last thing is, of course, making the features and the dashboards reviewed by the privacy lawyer, so understanding that it doesn't pose. I mean, it's a lot of work. It's a lot of work, but this is not just a simple project also that's going to be accessible through an app store. It could be. We didn't want to do it in this way. So I would like to highlight every regulation that is like posed by AI and the decision makers who worked carefully help the companies to take good countermeasures. The second thing, 51% of modern democracy already deployed AI-powered video analytics. No one knows what they do. So like as AI startup, AI company, and SME comes with a totally fully, how to say, investigatable way. All the features, everything is a transparent way to, how to say, also review the value for the society and for the governments also. And the last thing I would like to highlight, if you ask me, okay, how simple to create a solution that is going to hurt the society, it's very simple. Unfortunately, the most of the investors just they care about like how they can make their money 10x or like 20x. We need more impact investors actually, especially in this domain. It's critical, because like when the investor just question the money but not the other things, but we spend the time, resource, and everything to make it right for the society, it's a growth risk. And I believe that the companies who dedicate more effort to emphasize that the solution is good for the public needs to be supported in the same way. Otherwise, it's a growth level lose, competition lose, and it's unfortunately something also people, decision makers, needs to consider, in my view. Yeah, that's all I can say. Thank you.
Thank you, Nasli. Very comprehensive answer. Great to see that. I'm moving to the second question, which was for Emanuela. Emanuela, it says in the chat you're doing an amazing work on training the ML detecting patterns throughout the neural networks and grad compiling. I was inspired by your story on Ezra NGO and what inspired you to start Detectra. Can you please expand more on the actual problem in breast cancer that Detectra solves and that women and breast cancer patients face in your country and probably other countries as well? So the question is about, could you expand a bit more about the problem that Detectra solves?
Of course, it's a great question. And in medicine and in healthcare, you can heard the phrase, prevention is the best medicine. But unfortunately, in breast cancer, there is no prevention. There is only early detection. And that's because we don't know the actual cause of breast cancer. We only know the risk factors, and there are multiple risk factors like family history, genetic predispositions, hormonal issues, lifestyle, and all of them combined can cause to get breast cancer. So how many women are we here? Like one of us, probably, because there are more of 8 women, one of us is a potential patient. And also men can get breast cancer. The solution is early detection. And if you detect breast cancer early, the survival rates are 98% to 99%, which is a huge, percentage of survival rates. But unfortunately, the mortality rates are going up. So that means that breast cancer is the leading cause for death among women. And because of that, I think that the Detectra solution, to detect breast cancer through AI and breast density assessment is crucial, for women to survive. Also in North Macedonia, I saw now the question that is asking also about my country. We are facing significant stagnation because we don't have functional screening programs. So the incidence rate of breast cancer is going up all over Europe, but in Macedonia we have like 1 woman dying from breast cancer on daily basis. So, and that's because we don't have a functional screening programs. We have a lack of doctors who are going, to the other European countries, and the radiologists here are workload with a lot of cases, and it takes 1 to 2 months to get diagnosed, like to read the diagnosis. So I think it's really important, AI can be a partner. It doesn't replace the radiologist, but it's a partner to them. And it's a partner who is never tired, who is based on data, and it can provide the information so that radiologists can detect breast cancer earlier. And this is specifically important in, aggressive cancers, because if it's an aggressive cancer, a few days and 2 weeks can make a difference.
Thank you, Manuela. Very good response, I think, to the question that was raised. It makes me think, and also several presentations, we're speaking about regulations. The AI Act was mentioned several times. Now you mentioned also the lack maybe of screening systems in your country, which is also certainly somehow related to policy decisions. And so I'm wondering, has the AI Act or any kind of other regulation or policy action rather been a support for you, or do you see it rather as something that's framing your development in the companies? Because I also heard that someone, if you said it takes a lot of time to go through the different stages and so on. So obviously, when you're a startup, time is also money. It's not so obvious. So maybe you can give us more insights on that. Samuel, would you like to start on that?
It's like I would say with GDPR, to implement GDPR, you have to effectively designate people in your company to process that data, to have to communicate and to, I would say, to track all the breach in your system. You have to make your system more robust and secure. But it's the same in high by design. You have to take care regarding all the process you will drive with your system, how you will manage the data of your customers or your users. So it's important to give confidence that you comply with I would say the global rules. And I think it's important that the competition, all the actors should comply. It's maybe when you are small like Daryl, it's better to put that in place the sooner, because by design you will implement the good practices and good architecture in your system for that. So I think it's not blocking. It's not blocking. It's something that may make your market confident. I don't know if Emanuela or Nasli, you share.
Yeah, thank you, Samuel. Maybe Nasli, because I think you have been developing also really on international level already. So maybe you can give us some insight.
Like I have never heard a sentence like that. It is a door opener, but it is really a door opener. Like because like in terms of like it's not just because I am working on the government level software or like a large venue software. There is a possibility to create a like little chatbot. Unfortunately, there was a news that one youth lost a life because of the false friendship feedback of a chatbot. So, like in the world is more connected. Everything and everywhere is more accessible. But the least studied thing is like what is the impact that the solution generate? If we just let people to buy things through their wishes, and if they are part of a vulnerable community, or like if they are vulnerable like kid and so on, definitely it's going to create big problems. And the problem with the certain governments, they to be able to re-elected, certain problems never discussed, right? So like I see this as a balancing muscle, these regulatory discussions and everything. It's there's a group of people who specifically study, and they all of course concerned with the growth of the company, ecosystem and so on. So like I find it very supportive. Losing some time to sell your solution is not losing the time. It's a sustainable feature that, as Mr. Samuel mentioned, it's a sustainable feature that you deployed your solution that's going to make you more resilient. It may, yeah, like every essay I read, they look like it's like Europe is very late and regulatory and so on, but it's also one of the, how to say, safest and nice to live place in the world. Yeah.
Okay, thank you, Nasli. I would have a question also, because we have been speaking about trust already. I think Samuel, you mentioned it, but I would like to start with Emanuela, because trust is obviously something very important when it comes to health. Trust of the patients, but you're also here specifically working with the doctors, with the radiologists. And I guess this is a population which is not necessarily very open to new technologies, because there is always a fear of being replaced, of not having a sufficient support, but really nothing taking account of the expertise of the doctors and so on. So how do you work with these radiologists or other doctors to ensure that they're trusting the solution, that it's really an added value?
So in terms of AI, I think it's becoming a trend right now. So people are, using it and trusting it a bit more. And it's like the media, you know, how to trust the media if you see something posted. So it's the same thing. I think information and education is the key. And when you present, you know, what you have, and we are working with the importance of data security, how are the algorithms trained, and it's also we have radiologists, you know, behind in the board who are working with us so that we can train the models properly. And that's the main thing. And you know, AI makes very obvious stupid mistakes when it makes mistakes. Like there is no sense of what's going on. So, you know, the access of control, compliance, we are still in the MVP process, but after we finish, you know, we will look for the CA certificate from the EU. It's gonna do a lot of, you know, testing. We're gonna go through the clinical trials to test, you know, the accuracy, and you can trust facts and numbers. And when we have those numbers, the accuracy numbers, percentages, and everything, it will be easier to implement.
Okay, thank you very much, Emanuela. Samuel, would you like to add on that? Because you're also working with a population which is maybe not the closest to applying new technology. I'm thinking especially of the small companies and craftsmen that you're working with. So how do you get their buy-in? How do you ensure that they really think your solution is adding value and that they're
No,
trusting?
you're right. It's not easy for them to share their knowledge through the tool, but they learn other skills. Like when you are a craftsman, you are good in your business because you are technical people making things with your hands. When you use Darrell, in fact, you learn how to sell. You have a tool that simplifies your way, your presentation, your calculation are done instantly. So it brings new skills, and it saves time. So it's a good companion for them, and in fact, it gives them a new way to be modern, to be smart. So I think for young people, for digital natives, it's something that is very I would say seamless. But for all people, yes, it's something that is maybe more harder to implement. But when they have to give the knowledge to young people, it's a good way to use to transfer this knowledge using this tool. So it's a good compromise between generations, between people who knows and people who do not know. So, but this is true. We have to give confidence in the way you use the data. This is something that is very key to get the trust of people using the system.
Yeah, thank you, Samuel. That's actually a perfect linkage to our question that we have in the chat, because it's about trusting the data. And here, this is a question for you, Emanuela. How is the solution taking account of the patient's privacy? Can there be data leaks? How does Decker take measures to prevent that?
As I explained before, our data now is completely de-identified, so there is no patient names, and it's the patient stays anonymous. We only train the model based on the images, but once it's put in the PACS systems, we will ensure, you know, the data security and privacy is essential. So to safeguard it, we start with robust encryption. Data stored on our system is data at rest. This is encrypted with protocols like AES 256 and any data transferred between systems is protected by secure protocols. Also, the Tectra enforces strict access control policies to ensure that only authorized personnel can access sensitivity data. So role-based access control and multi-factor authentication add additional layers of verification. So access is limited based on each user's role, so only with the clinicians.
Thank you, Manuela. So I think we need to wrap up here, but I have a final question that I wanted to ask the three of you, which is about the human aspect and the environmental aspect, because that is our core here at Forging. And I wanted to ask, do you use the fact that your company or your product or your solution is taking account of human aspects, maybe also environmental aspects, in your communication or in your marketing approach? Is that something that's relevant to you, and is that something that you bring forward towards clients or towards maybe funders or any other kind of person that you're addressing? Natalie, would you like to start?
Sure. Actually, like on the way, we were searching the way because like our technology, it requires an expensive machine. It's compute intensive, and we don't want the customer to run solution in 100,000 camera continuously. It's a big electrical power and computation power. And we analyze the competitors and we check that we see that their business model is like selling as many as camera, as many as features. So like the existing providers try to sell the solution to the governments or like large institutions with maximizing their profit, with maximizing the computation and so on. This is a very abnormal. So as a person, also as a technical founder, I tried to find a way how we can really optimize. And on the way, we come up with these activation features in which you can have a 250 camera machine to cover whole New York. How you do it's all about statistical distribution of the crime and the number of camera that needs to be active during a crime is happening. So like we introduced a kind of unique feature. It's not presented anywhere actually, and it's a boundary also. The boundary because certain municipality cannot utilize AI because the hardware is very expensive. But by utilizing an efficient feature, we both enable solution for like make it accessible for larger any large institution. Also, we lowered the computation power, and we didn't create a business model that we make money with more computation. Just we want we charge the value the customer how like the moment they react early is like our key. Like I can answer it like that, and yeah.
Thank you very much. Emanuela, what's your view? Emanuela?
Okay. For me, artificial intelligence can have both positive and negative impact on the society. It depends how we use, and that's why my company is human-centric, especially woman-centric, because AI have by analyzing vast amounts of data, it can provide life-saving opportunities. So if you use that potential to a good cause and an ethical cause, it can really be a game changer in a positive way.
Thank you very much, Emmanuel. And Samuel, maybe we have heard about the human aspects. I was wondering, does your product also take into account environmental aspects, for example, related to the supply chain or circularity?
You mean the circularity regarding our customers or
at the customers? Yeah.
Yeah, for sure. Typically, we put we make our customer improve the way they show how they build, how their manufacturing. Because sometimes, for example, when I speak about acoustic solutions, it's made in France, it's made with recycled materials, and sometimes in their sales approach, they only talk about the performance of the solution, not the way they are built, they are made, they are manufactured. So we improve the way they are communicated to the final customers. And regarding the human aspect, what is important as well is that our customers, they were losing time making business, and what they like to do is not making business. They like to work on the manufacturing aspect. They love innovating on the product, reinvent products. So using our technology can save the time in customers meeting, and they can use these times to better improve their product and make them more reliable and responsible.
Okay, thank you very much, Samuel. So thanks a lot to all our speakers. I'm wrapping up here. We still have a question that just popped up. Fred, I'm running out of time. So Nasia, I'm inviting you to answer it in the chat because it's addressed to you. But meanwhile, I would like to wrap up the discussion round. I think what's really interesting is that we can see that all three startups were actually launched on the basis of a personal experience, either because there has been a security incident or health issue, or also observation from a professional life. And that already shows the human aspect of AI, because it can be something that can be a solution for anything that's coming up in our lives, either professional or personal lives. I thought it was really interesting also to emphasize that several said that there's always a human that makes the decision behind, even though there's technology involved. But the technology, the AI here, is not replacing the humans, it's only enhancing the humans and their capacities, their expertise, and making maybe decisions more efficient and solutions more time, well, with less time constraints. So quickly, especially we have that example from the scanning. We also heard about the regulations, and that EU regulation helps actually to provide added value solutions that can be trusted by different kind of customers, by different kind of users, or people who are somehow affected by the application of the solutions, because very often it is in the end society. And that it can also help on environmental aspects, so for example, less use of electricity and so on. So regulation is not only a burden, even though it can be, but it seems to really provide added value here. And we heard that information and education is key, and that obviously comes back again to the trust and to making sure that everyone is on the board when the solution is developed, but also when it's deployed, of course. So I just wanted to put up the last slide to show you how you can continue to be engaged in Forging, how you can continue to discuss these aspects and co-create together with us. So what's coming up next is that we're having a co-creation workshop on novel enabling technologies for a sustainable future. And we actually have two, which are organized back-to-back on 12th and 13th of December, taking place in Brussels, Belgium. One is on human-machine interaction and the other one on digital twins, where we develop potential use cases of sustainable and responsible emerging technologies. So on these two technology frameworks, this is addressed to anyone who considers being an expert, or not necessarily expert, but very interested in that kind of topic. We're looking specifically at companies or solution providers or solution adopters, but feel free to check out the registration link, which is on the website and which you can access when you get the slides. We're also putting the link maybe in the chat, so you can directly take it from there as well. So please check out the information on that. And as I said at the very beginning, we're having a next webinar coming up in this series about shaping a more responsible future with tech, which will be about cybersecurity, and where we will have a similar format as today, bringing again European startups and companies who would like to share good practices about deploying cybersecurity in their development and in their solution, their products. It's taking place on 17th of December from 10 to 11:30. And you're very welcome to stay tuned to get information about the registration because we're going to set that up towards the end of November. So make sure that you get the information through our social media or on our website. And we're also certainly sending that as soon as we have to those who have shown interest. And there are other co-creation workshops and webinars coming up in 2025. So it's not ending with this year. There's a lot more to come. Also, on the other technology frameworks, there will be a workshop on energy efficiency end of January, for example. There will be other webinars. So make sure that you follow us because there can be opportunities which can be of interest for all of you as well. So I wanted to finish thanking a lot again our expert speakers who have provided really interesting information from very different perspectives, which show that AI can be applied to so many different fields and sectors. And also to the audience, I wanted to say a big thank you for the valuable questions because this is how we can really go in depth into the discussions. So thanks a lot to everyone. And I'm wishing you a very great day. Thank you.
Thank you.
Bye-bye.
Thank you. Bye.
Bye.
Bye.